November 7th, 2019. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 194 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So on the last episode...
Wait a minute, Mark.
Yes.
Before you get into this show, I got some good news for you.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I wanted to break it here so everyone could hear.
Okay.
Well, as soon as I heard that the LA Chargers are moving to London,
Right.
I jumped on that really quick.
Okay.
And I called up and found out what it would take for us to get a personal license, 2 seats.
Oh, in London.
In London.
To
so
see
we'll
the
be
London
season
Chargers.
ticket holders in London, yeah.
Oh, all right.
For you have to make a down payment, which
Okay.
I already took care of.
Okay.
All they wanted was 1 bucket of bull.
Okay.
Now, I didn't have enough bull. So
Really? That kind of surprises me, to be honest
surprising.
with you.
No, I sent him half a bucket of bull, half a bucket of horse.
Oh, okay.
And I figured nobody's really going to be able to tell the difference. Well, maybe Dean Spanos. If he tastes it,
He might
he'll
know the
difference.
difference. Yeah.
He'll know the difference because a lot of is coming out of that guy's mouth.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're all set. We are already reserved a spot.
Thank you,
for
Mike.
London.
Everybody knows that I kind of ride on your coattails. Here's another example, right? Season tickets for the London Chargers. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I figured you'd be okay. It's not L.A.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I'm fine with that. Oh, yeah, London,
I mean,
go
we'll
for
just
it.
fly over. It's only 8 times.
Yeah, it's right. And all the rest of them are going to be, away games in the States. So we could
Right.
go to every single game, actually.
Well-
It'd take less time to get to an away game.
We'll donate our preseason tickets to some orphanage. in
Sure,
London.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of punishing the orphanage, but whatever.
Well, they got to learn.
Yeah,
they got to
they
learn
gotta
what
learn.
life is like.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for breaking in with that important news,
Yeah.
Dr. Mike. Yeah. Anyway, on the last episode, we had gotten an email from listener Mike. He basically wanted to know, based on how many tier credits you earn through Caesars Rewards, can you determine your theoretical loss to get to those number of tier credits? And so when I got the email, I thought, oh, good, I can figure this out. We'll do a big math problem.
Right up your alley, yeah.
Figured it out. So I figured it out based on playing 8-5 jacks or better, video poker, and how long you would play and how much coin in you'd have to do. And I came up with all these numbers. And at the end, I said, now, this isn't very realistic. This isn't like real life, but, it's kind of interesting to look at these numbers. What I probably should have done was said, none of my numbers really matter at all.
Right.
Even though the math was fine. Or maybe I shouldn't even have used that as an example and answered, because we got a lot of feedback from people saying, hey, what about the daily tier bonuses you can earn,
Right.
Every day? And hey, 8-5 jacks or better, there are better pay tables where you can still earn just as much. And, what about all these bonuses that Harrah's puts out? And
Turns out there's a bunch of what ifs.
so anyway, I think I just got caught up in a math problem. I'm going to figure it out and tell everybody. Because, it is not realistic. In fact, one of the things I said was if you're 7 stars, you will have lost about $40,000, to get to that point. Well, I'm 7 stars. I haven't lost $40,000 to get to that point.
No.
Not even close.
But you've gambled 40,000.
Well, sure, I've gambled 40,000.
Yeah.
But if you look at my ledger, no, it's nowhere near that. So anyway, I want to apologize for... it's not false information. Like I said, the math was right. It's just that you earn tier credits a lot more ways than just playing.
Right.
So.
You can just say that you were assuming that if you only earn tier credits by playing.
Yeah, that's true. If that was the only way to do
that's
it.
the only way to do it, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Because really, you can't figure it out. Because they have, during the year, all these specials.
Yeah.
It's not just the normal
specials.
stuff.
And how much time are you spending each day?
Right.
How much are you earning in those tier credits? Because if you spend a whole day playing, for 12 hours, 14 hours,
Right.
where you're probably going to get one of the higher tier credits bonuses, right?
Right.
So,
yeah. And there's no way to figure that out.
But not exactly. But, so anyway.
Could we just go with it's a bucket full of
Yeah, that's fine. I think, what did you say last time? It was like a well drink.
Yeah.
It was like a liver full of well drinks.
Yeah.
Is that what you said last time?
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that, that's right. Well, we had something kind of special happen since the last episode. Michael Mavestro, a.k.a. DJ Cassaggio, who previously hosted the Vegas Bright and Vegas Oons podcasts, has recently been animating segments of Vegas-themed podcasts and posting them under Vegas Podtoons on YouTube. Previously, he's done animations from Vital Vegas, 360 Vegas, Jeff Does Vegas. Well, Michael just recently made one of us. And it's when you and I were talking about the Mike Postle poker scandal here recently. And I think it came out pretty good. It's kind of funny to see us animated like that.
I think it came out great.
Yeah.
My daughter's got a huge kick out of that. And they're like, even if you just saw it without the voices, you would immediately know it was us. Like she would immediately know it looks so much like us.
Yeah, it looks like us, even though it looks like we're on South Park.
Yeah,
right? That's the kind of animation, right? It does. It looks like us. Anyway, thank you, Michael, for putting that together. Just go to YouTube and do a search on Vegas Podtoons. Podtoons is one word, Podtoons, and you'll see the whole library there. And I'll put a link in the show notes too, so that you can get to it. But anyway, thanks.
He picked a good clip too.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. He picked a really good clip.
Yeah, it was good. The way it ended was especially good with your suggestion on time travel. So, yeah. Well, another thing, since our last episode, the Washington Nationals won the World Series in one of the most unusual World Series victories. The road team won every single game.
That is so bad for the home fans. I mean,
I know.
You know, if you're in Houston, you went to 4 games, right? If you're a season ticket holder and you had tickets to all the, you went to 4 games and saw them lose all of them. And Washington, they're happy they won, but the fans that went to those 3 games saw them lose all 3 of them.
Anyway, kind of fun. This is the first time in the 50-year history of the franchise, because the Nationals used to be the Montreal Expos. Right. So they started in 1969. First time that they've won the World Series. So this is yet another example of this huge hurdle being crossed by a sports franchise, fans, etc., that does not involve a San Diego team. The San Diego Padres started the same year as the Montreal Expos.
I was really sad when Montreal left.
Yeah, me too.
I
honestly,
liked the
it was a
Expos.
National League Canadian team. Right now, there's only one Canadian team left.
Right,
that's in the
and
American League.
I don't know. I like their logo and everything. It was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, Steven Strasburg is going to leave the Nationals, come to the Padres next year, and they're going to win the division and then the pennant and then the World Series.
Oh,
so
well, great.
If that makes you feel better, just go to bed believing that
That
tonight.
does kind of make me feel better. And when that happens, afterwards I'll no longer be a sports fan because there'll be nothing to root for. Right? They've already won.
Yeah.
Probably stop doing the podcast. And
Don't worry. It'll be wrong in end of April, beginning of May, I think.
All right. We got an email from listener Robert. He wanted to know what you and I would do if we ever saw someone cheating at a craps game, like pass posting, something like that. Not getting paid wrong, but actually cheating. Assuming it was just you and I
just rule out, oh my God, that guy's cheating.
I thought this was a really good question because, on the one hand, it's none of our business, but on the other hand, cheating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I would answer the question. I guess it would depend on where we're playing.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. You probably wouldn't want to say anything because, first of all, like you said, it's maybe none of our business. But second of all, if the guy got in trouble for cheating and you said something, you might be careful leaving the casino.
Well, sure, but I mean that's life, right? I mean, if you see something going wrong, what I was going to say is if it were a casino that we frequent a lot, like Harrah's Southern California, where we're kind of friends with the staff, I might not say something right away.
I might just nod at him and kind of give him
I might pull somebody aside and say, "Hey, watch this player."
Right, give him a little eye contact and tell him, "Hey, look at this." You know?
But actually cheating, I don't know. I'd nudge you, but
well, we text each other is what we do.
Yeah. What should we do? I guess maybe is the better question. Here we're saying, what we would do, but
if it's a mistake, if the dealer made a mistake and the guy picks it up, I'm not saying
that's a big
anything.
no. That's not cheating. No, that's a big difference.
But if you're blatantly pass posting or something, I'm not cool with that.
Yeah. So I don't know if we were in Vegas and it was a place we don't play very often. Yeah, I don't know if I'd speak up or not. I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't have a
like I said,
answer,
I'd
really.
be worried. Let's say we were in Vegas and it was a place we don't frequent.
Yeah.
But we just happen to be like we're downtown somewhere in some place that we rarely go to.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid leaving, that some things could happen. I don't know. That's one of those things where you're in a situation and there's no real good answer to that.
Yeah, because you have to watch out for yourself.
Right.
And, it's really up to the casino to watch for cheating.
Inevitably, yeah.
I'm kind of talking through this. Really, it is their responsibility. It's not yours.
Right.
And it's not like it's affecting you necessarily, right?
No.
I mean, you're still playing the game the way that you're playing, especially if it's craps.
Right.
It's something else if, in blackjack, some guys marking cards or...
It involves money.
Yeah.
And there is a difference. If it's a personal thing, like, I'm walking down the street and some guy grabs some woman.
Well,
and
of course, sure.
Then I'm jumping in. I don't even think about that.
Sure.
Because that's somebody getting hurt.
Yeah.
When it's a money thing, somebody losing money, I mean, I'm not cool with it, but I don't know if I want to get involved in it either.
Yeah. Anyway, good question. Thanks for the question, Robert. It was a good question. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's get to some voicemails. First up is Jackson.
Hey guys, this is Jackson from Northern California. I'd hoped to call with a trip report from Chuck Chancy Casino down in Central California. Unfortunately, the concert I was going to got canceled. So I ended up at Golden Gate Field horse racing track yesterday because the degenerate gambler in me just had to go find some action. Great day, beautiful day for it. Actually won some money on the ponies, lost it all drinking beer. But I just calling to urge anybody to go out and support their local horse track because it's a lot of fun. If you're a low roller, you can spend 4 or 5 hours there and never, break your bank. And just not enough people do it anymore. It seems to be kind of a dying sport. But we've already lost Bay Meadows up here, and I don't want to see another track disappear. So I'm just hoping that all your listeners start going out and playing the ponies because it's a lot of fun. All right. Thanks, guys. Love the show. Have a good one.
Yeah, dying sport. And here on the last episode, we talked about the Breeders' Cup, and we even said, Josh, Santa Anita, they've had these problems with the horses dying.
I mean, immediately my wife texted me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, a horse is being euthanized.
And the thing is, we were betting on the races. We were doing terribly on all the races. Yeah. And when it came to the Classic, we bet on Vino Rosso, who won. It was actually a very nice win because he went off at around 9-2, paid $11.20 on a $2 bet, but immediately marred by a horse being injured. Mongolian Groom sustained a pretty horrific injury to his left hind leg and ended up euthanizing him. Yeah. And, it's like a euphemism, right? They killed him, right? I mean, it's another dead horse at Santa Anita. Yeah. So, it's when it's publicly this bad, when the publicity is this bad, I know it's kind of only Santa Anita that's getting all this attention, at least this national attention. But that's one of the reasons the sport is dying, right?
Right.
And so I've never really made a big stand on horse racing, but I think I've said, if it eventually goes away, I'm not going to be too sad. But, it's one of those things where there's a lot involved. There's talking about money, right? It's people's lives, at least right now. You know.
I don't want to bring this up. It sounds crass, but... we're ahead for horse racing.
Oh, big time. Big time.
We're big time ahead for horse racing.
One of the few things we can say is that we're ahead on horse racing. Yeah, that's
on
true.
all of our little gambling things, for whatever reason, we do great at horse racing.
It's true. And it's not like we follow the sport that closely. We just get lucky.
Sometimes we're just making weird guesses and we hit horses.
Well, like this example, right? We did terrible for most of the Breeders' Cup. Right. And then I put a ton of money on the Classic.
Right.
And we made all our money back plus more. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I hope it doesn't go away. It's funding.
No, yeah. So there you go. Two sides to the story.
Yeah.
You get both sides on. You can bet on that.
Getting back to his call, though, I was laughing to myself when he said he wasted away drinking beer.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know. If you're drinking beer, I don't know if that's wasting away your money.
Well, okay. I guess that would also be open to two different interpretations.
Yeah, you got some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's hope.
Until the next day when the beer cleared his system.
Yeah, sure, right. And he had a pounding headache, sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, next call.
Hi, guys. This is Nick in Kalamazoo. Just want to give you a quick report of Caesars Casino Windsor. I've been there before, but hadn't played craps there in quite some time. They usually have $10 tables. They have a crapless and 2 normal tables. We got there on Monday afternoon, bought in for $140, and didn't go very well for a little while. But another guy showed up, had another buy-in, and he hits 5 points. Only 3 of them counted to the fire bet. It was the first time I've really ever had a chance to press my bets, and actually had a good time doing it. I normally played a $5 table, super conservative, but it was a lot of fun. I've never had a chance to buy a number. I had a chance to buy a 4 and a 10. I had my 6 and 8 up to almost $30. It was just really exciting. I've never got that purple chip before, so that was truly exciting. Tuesday was a lot of the same. Hit a back-to-back hard 6. Got a couple of those for the dealers, so it was nice to be able to tip a little bit for them. And again, cashed out after putting in 140, getting, 500 back again. So that was pretty exciting. I usually am the type of guy who buys in for 100. It either makes 100 or lose 100, and not much more than that. So that was pretty fun. My wife did okay at slots, but we also decided to play some high card flush, and I got very lucky on our last hand. I hit a 6-card flush with a 4-card straight flush, made about $800. And left there after 2 days, only down about $200. So not too bad. The buffet is great. The dealers are great. There's no smoking. Really nice hotel right on the river. You can see right across into Detroit. So a lot of fun. And we hope to get to see you guys when we come out to Las Vegas in February, if you happen to be there. If not, I look forward to listening to the show. Thanks a lot and have a great day, guys. Bye.
I love this story because here's Nick, obviously a red chip player playing at $5 tables. And so he's probably placing the 6 and 8 for $6 each.
Right.
Having such a good roll that he's able to press it up to $30, buying the 4 and 10 for the first time.
Right.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting.
It really is. Yeah. And I have a feeling we're going to need to get up to Caesars Windsor one of these days too. I have a feeling that's going to be a destination.
Yeah,
eventually.
we should actually. I'd like to see that part of the country.
Sure, and there are other casinos in the Detroit area too, so there'd be a good reason to go there. Yeah,
I've never been to Detroit in Michigan, and right on the border there. I've been through the border in other parts of Canada, but not there.
Yeah, I went for work when I was working on software that went into cars, but never for vacation or anything like that.
That'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Especially if we went like in the fall.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bundle up. We're, us Southern California.
Yeah, well, not super cold yet, but cold. So we, a little different for us.
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days. Are you listening, Vito? That's what we always do, right? Just at the end. Well, Vito's going to schedule it for us. All right. Next up is Eric.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Eric from Indianapolis. First of all, it was great to meet the two of you at the summit. My wife, Lori, and I got to make it to the craps meetup kind of at the very end. You guys were super nice, and so apologies for both of us immediately stepping out on our roll. I'm happy to report the craps did go better the rest of the trip. Just didn't go well that time. I actually am calling in with a question, though. While we were at the summit, I participated in the slot tournament that they had. And I had never done a slot tournament before, and I actually ended up winning this one. I'll probably never do another one again. I'm going to retire as champion.
Good.
But my question is, the first place prize was $682, and when they paid me, I actually had to fill out a W-2G. Now, I don't play a lot of slots. I've never hit a hand pay before, but it was always my understanding that the cutoff for that was $1,200. Anything over $1,200, you had to fill out a W-2G for. Not sure why I had to do it this time, just for $682. I don't know if it's because it was a tournament. I understand that you are not lawyers, but I figured I would pose the question to you first anyway. Again, great to meet you two and love the show. Bye.
Well, first of all, congratulations on winning the slot tournament. Nice. That's great. Way to go. So, Eric, are you sure it was a W-2G? It probably was a 1099 miscellaneous because this wasn't a gambling bet that you won.
Right.
It was a tournament, or they kind of consider it like a sweepstakes.
Right.
Right. And so in that case, they will issue you a 1099-miscellaneous. So I have a feeling that's what you filled out. If it was a W-2G, I think they did something wrong. But I believe the minimum for a 1099 miscellaneous is $600. Okay. So your payout was just above that. Again, that's like if you won a drawing at a casino. They had a car giveaway or something like that. It's not because you were playing a slot, but you had a certain amount of entries. That would be a 1099 miscellaneous. So still a tax form, but yeah.
Right. And, hopefully you'll cover that with your losses and write that off.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not an attorney, and I can't say that you lost that much, but you lost that much.
Well, see, and that's the problem now with the new taxes, right? Because in a lot of cases, people who itemize like we used to, I was kind of able to do that. And now it doesn't make sense for us to itemize. So I have to be careful
That's why you got to own a business.
Yeah, that's why I got to own a business. That's,
that's
really the only reason.
Yeah, so you can have headaches the rest of your life.
All right. Next call is from Marcel. The audio is a little rough, but I think you'll be able to make it out.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Marcel from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada calling. I love your show. Been a long-time listener, and my first time calling. Just wanted to share with you guys the best casino trip I've ever had. I'm a decidedly low roller, and me and my buddy decided to hit our casino. It's about a half an hour drive away, and I brought $100. We get there. Craps table's not open yet. And we got there at about 9. So we decided to put a blackjack. I quickly doubled up on a $10 table with the busted side bet. Decided to move over to high card flush, where my second hand, I hit a 6-card flush with a 5-card straight flush. And I was just under $1,000 payout with the $5 on the both bonus bets. Finally, the craps table opened. My buddy and I go to play, $10 minimum table. He rolls for about 45 minutes. By the time he was done, some of my place bets were up to $100, which I'm never that high. He finally sevens out. It's my turn to roll. Well, I roll for another 45 minutes. I hit a 4-point fire, and then I decided to walk away. The grand total for that quick trip to the casino was $1,800 with just a $100 buy-in. It was my best trip ever. I wish I could do it again. I love your show, guys. Keep it up. All right. Have a good one.
That's a great call. I love it when someone calls and has their best, night ever.
$100 to $1,800.
Yeah.
Plus, boy, when you
great.
get those back-to-back big rolls and craps. See, you have the big rolls like, oh, man, what a great roll. You're a little more likely to be aggressive on the next shooter just because, you're,
especially
if
it starts off good where, like, you got your money you invested back on that roll.
On the second
real
roll,
quick.
yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, now, I'm ahead for this roll. You just press, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
And another good high card flush side bet story. We got to go start playing that a lot more there. That is one nice thing. You get those big flushes with a lot of cards.
Right.
There's a decent chance that you're going to have a straight flush in there somewhere too, to get paid on that side bet.
Right.
All right, next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is John from New York, first-time caller. I only play poker in casinos, but I love listening to your show anyway, even though I often don't have any idea what you're talking about. I'm currently on a cross-country trip from New York to California. I stopped in the small town of Wendover, Utah and Nevada, right off Interstate 80. And I stopped in the Peppermill Hotel and Casino, played about an hour of poker there, up $95. So it was a good trip. After playing, I walked around the casino to check out what they've got. They had one craps table going. They had 3 blackjack tables, 2 $5 limit, 1 $10 limit, and several other games going on, and a number of vacant tables. This was on a early Saturday evening. Everything looked really new and modern, so I asked a floor person about that. He said it's not a new casino, but they've been remodeling for the past several years. All in all, everybody was very nice and friendly. The floor people seemed competent. The poker players, I would call the game, I played 1-2 no limit. I would call the game pretty soft. Everybody seemed to be having a good time, though. And so that's it, but I would recommend it. It looks like a very nice place. I'll probably stay over in Reno tomorrow night, so maybe I'll give you a call about that. Keep up the podcast. I love listening as I'm driving cross country. Thanks.
Yeah, another good story about Wendover.
Yeah.
And, it's a great location if you live in Salt Lake City.
Right. I don't think we've ever had a bad story about Wendover.
I know. Everybody talks about how much they like it.
Yeah.
I imagine poker rooms across the country have a lot of regulars.
Sure.
But it just occurred to me that maybe Wendover has more regular poker players than other places. I don't know. Maybe because it doesn't get quite as many tourists.
Right. It's not a destination for a tourist, right? It's more for a local guy.
Yeah.
Right?
So, maybe it's just a bunch of guys and gals who just sit there all day long,
Right. Know each other.
They know each other. It's just kind of a kickback. Sounds like they were having a good time. So, yeah.
Yeah. And probably money evens itself out, right?
Right.
Over time.
Minus the rake that the casino takes.
Rake,
yeah. So everybody's a loser is what you're saying, basically.
Eventually.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's hear from Joseph.
Hey, this is Joseph from Dallas. Quick non-story. Here in Dallas, go up to Oklahoma, played some video poker. And I know the last couple episodes you had a segment on hands dealt to a royal. Well, I was playing double-double. I got dealt an ace of spades. I held it, and I got everything, the jack, the king, the 10. And I did get the queen, but it was a heart. So there's the non-story. But I did think of you guys when it came up, and I thought that would have been great to call in on 4 to a royal. Anyway, I went and played some craps, and I won $2 at the end of the night, so it was a good night, right? Anyway, great stuff. I'm working my way through all the episodes, so I enjoy it. You guys have a good day. Appreciate it. Bye.
So, yeah, Joseph, that would have been a great call if you'd drawn 4 to the royal. As it turns out, it was just a call.
Yeah, right.
Well, at least you made your straight. We're happy for you there.
Right. Yeah, well, if you can't get the royal, you get the straight.
Yeah,
That's fine.
At least it's something. All right, next call.
Hi, Dr. Mike and Mark. I'm calling to give you a suggestion for the next Gamblepalooza. I believe it should be in Italy. It's the only way my husband's ever going to take me to Italy. I think it would be a lot of fun. You guys put on a great show. I really enjoy it. Make me laugh all the time. Good job. Oh, and by the way, I'm Dr. Mike's wife. Have a good day. Bye.
That's interesting.
Only way she's ever going to get to Italy. Do you hear that, Vito? It's all
Vito's
on Vito's
Italian,
shoulder.
so
Yeah, he's
going to go back to Italy. Yeah. So
right, there's got to be a casino there that we can go to.
Everything okay at home, Dr. Mike?
Yeah, my wife just really wants to go to Italy.
Go to Italy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do they have casinos there?
Well, see, that's the thing.
I don't know. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure we can
I seem to remember an old episode of Taxi where they were going to go to the casino. Maybe that was Greece. I don't know. Anyway.
We'll have to look into that.
Okay.
Maybe we can combine a tour of Italy with a casino tour as well.
Okay, yeah. I'll come over for like 2 days.
Yeah, okay.
And you break away from the family. We'll just go casino hopping.
My wife just wants to go to all the museums.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no gambling in the museums.
None at all?
No.
Really?
No, now that I checked.
Okay. You actually called. It was a little tough, the language barrier, but finally I know.
And here's our craps table.
All right.
You're getting there, Len. You're getting there sooner than you think.
All right. Next up is our friend Melanie.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is David from Colorado. Had a great craps experience yesterday at Ameristar Blackhawk. We had so much fun. Yesterday was a typical cold, snowy day in Denver. In October, it's -2 right now. The Denver public schools were closed. All these places were closed, but the casinos opened. Well, one of them I went to did not open until 11. They normally open at 8. That was due to the snow and cold. So anyway, I had to do a little day trip to Denver to run an errand. Stopped in at Blackhawk on my way back. Played craps at Ameristar. It was one of those craps moments that that's why you play craps, man. The whole crew was into it. The whole table was into it. I mean, the casino was absolutely deserted, except the craps table, barely any room. And it was really fun. It was the only craps table I've ever been at where by the end I knew everyone's name, like Tommy and Birthday Wayne and Mary, Rob, Claire. We just had such a fun, eclectic group. So I was down to my last couple of trips, was up and down. I bought in for $200, and the girl next to me went on a monster roll. She was really funny, like would whisper all these encouraging words to the dice. Anyway, she went on a monster roll, got back up to 160. I had to cash out, come home. But, man, it was really fun. So I know the action itself can be limited in Colorado with the $100 limits on the bets, but really fun crew. And everyone was toking them a ton, and they were super happy and into it. I remember the crew, Tim, Matt, Magdalena. So Highly recommend it if you happen to be in the neighborhood. It's not close to Denver. It's 40 miles out. So since that one casino didn't open for 3 hours due to the weather, I was wondering if the fires out near you, I think they're north of you, have affected casinos. Are any of them closed? Do the power outages make them close? I'm just kind of curious about that. Anyway, let me know if weather patterns in your area also affected your play. Love the show, guys. You're highly entertaining. And Dr. Mike, let us know if you're going to be in Vegas the first weekend in December. I would love to meet up, roll some dice with you. Love the show, guys. Keep it up.
Dr. Mike, you going to Vegas here soon?
First weekend in December.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I will be there.
Great
David.
gift wrap-up?
Yeah, for the great gift wrap-up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that first weekend, very good.
First weekend, my wife and children will be with me.
Okay.
And we'll be staying at Caesar's Palace and going, to Bally's. And
Bally's is where the actual gift wrap-up is, right? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
we'll be in that area.
Okay.
So I will text Mark where I'm at.
Yeah,
Mark will
because I
tweet
will
out.
not be going, so I will tweet on Mike's back. Oh, and then February, too, we had an earlier call. Any plans right now for a February trip to Vegas?
No,
Not yet. Yeah.
not too early.
Yeah, okay.
But February is a good month to go.
Yeah, I know.
Right around the beginning of the first week of the month is good.
Oh, it is good? Really?
Yeah,
Some big event coming up?
Vegas or Italy, one of the two.
So, yes, the fires did affect casinos close to us.
Yes.
Even though the fires have not really been close to us. But Harrah's, Southern California, last week, they had to close due to mandatory power outages.
I think they were closed down for a good 24 hours.
At least.
right?
I think so. Yeah. I think it started early Wednesday, and then they finally reopened on Thursday.
Sometime on Thursday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That actually worked in our favor.
Right, because I had actually planned on going up to get my free play on that
Right.
Wednesday. And I found out that luckily that it had closed. So then later when we went on Friday, we said, hey, you were closed on Wednesday. Can we get our Wednesday free play that we missed out on?
Right.
And they said, oh, yeah, absolutely. So we got
and they
that,
gave us our free play. That was nice. They didn't advertise that, but I think if anyone asked, they would just give it to you.
It's good. It's good policy for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And you can imagine the headache, of the people that are staying there. Harrah's had to make other arrangements for everybody and transportation.
That's a nightmare.
It's just really, And, but they have done it before. I think you remember from an earlier episode, this has happened before. So
right. I think the last time there was actually a fire nearby. This time there was no fire. They just had to close because they cut the power off.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Well, we met listener Bill when we were in Vegas last time. He's got an Atlantic City report.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Bill calling in mid-trip from Atlantic City. I have 2 stories to share from the craps tables. I was at Harrah's, and there was this new player on the table. The dealers were trying to explain the game to him, and he was trying to make all the good bets that Mark would have been proud of. The past line, odds, 6 and 8, and we weren't getting anywhere because the dice were ice cold. There was him, me, one person next to me, and a couple straight out on the table, the 5 of us. And the person next to me had had enough and starts betting the don'ts. During this time, the table starts improving. The new player, however, had ran out of his $300 that he bought in with, and he must have channeled Dr. Mike because he put his last $10 on the 12, and the lady at the end was shooting. She hit to midnight, and the new player made back everything he had lost previously on just one roll of the dice. The shooter's companion, unfortunately, at this point, starts immediately yelling, "Hey, give the shooter a tip. Hey, tip your shooter." The side dealer remarks, "Hey, you shouldn't be saying that, man." And a big argument ensues. The pit boss just stood there mute, watching. I colored up and left. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Later at Bally's, I was playing craps, and this jackwipe comes to the table. He starts immediately by pass posting a $120 don't pass bet. Another big argument ensues, but this time, the pit boss immediately steps in and diplomatically explained why it wasn't a bet because the point was already established. The pit boss diffused the situation, and throughout the rest of my time on the table, he constantly kept his eyes on the player, booking his bets, telling the dealers what to do. The player was obviously on something because he was acting erratic and just throwing money into the table. But the pit boss stayed calm, collected. He told his dealers where to put his bets, and he remarked, "The trick is don't let him think. If he thinks, we're in big trouble." But throughout, he kept the game moving. Everybody was happy, perfect customer service. And later we went on to hit a 5-point fire bet. Just goes to show how important a good pit boss is to a craps table and how essential they are, when it seems that every single casino out there is trying to cut back to save a couple bucks. That's all I got for now. Love meeting you guys at the summit. Keep up the great work. And if the trip goes well, I'll call in with an after-action report. Thanks.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Bill.
Yes.
We played with him quite a bit.
Yeah, we played with quite a bit. We had some good rolls with him too.
Yeah. I do not like people who hustle for tips.
Yeah.
An employee, even a player, hey, how about a tip? And this was a case where the player had only made his money back. It wasn't like he was a winner.
Right.
And I think that the dealer should have not said anything too, to a player. Say, hey, you shouldn't, say that. I don't know. If I were a pit boss in that situation, and apparently the pit boss didn't do anything, I might have had that dealer go on break for a little bit, or who knows. But, tipping is great and tipping is important, but when it gets to the point where you're saying, hey, how come you didn't tip?
Right. That's kind of uncalled for. But Bill brought up a great point. Pit boss is so important.
Yeah, pit boss, and I think a boxman, we've talked about that for the table, but pit boss for sure. Yeah,
pit boss paying attention.
Yep.
And a boxman is great. I really love that. I love at Harrah's, Southern California. I don't know if you've noticed recently, Mark, where a lot of times they have a dedicated person,
sure,
box
of course
person
I've noticed,
to watch that. And it's so much nicer.
Yeah, it really is. Yep. All right, let's hear from our buddy Todd.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, it's Todd from Minnesota. I was at the Treasure Island Casino last weekend in Red Wing, Minnesota, and ran into a rude pit boss. I bought in for $100 at a $5 blackjack table and gave them my card, which they entered in, and the first pit boss was friendly, told me good luck. It was a short session, maybe 30 minutes or so, and I was up about $20. I slid a stack of 20 red chips to the dealer and said color up when the shoe was done, and was given a black chip. Nothing unusual so far. I wandered around the casino a bit, played some $5 3-card poker, which I hadn't played in probably 15 years. It wasn't as much fun as I remembered, although I did beat a dealer's Ace 8-2 with my own Ace 8-4. So I cashed out there too, just only up $5, colored up again for 1 black chip. Wandering around some more, I decided to go back to the blackjack table I was at before, since there were some friendly players and dealers in that pit. Got the same chair I had been in about an hour prior and put my black chip and card back onto the table and asked for change only. The dealer announced check change 100 with a card, and a different pit boss walked over. He entered my card into the computer and said, Todd, next time don't walk with red chips, color up. I said, I did color up. Well, computer shows you walked with a stack of reds. One of the other players who was there earlier with me even backed me up and said, no, that was someone else, he colored up. I said, where do you think I got the black chip from? He just replied again, the computer shows you walked with reds. So under my breath, in the most Minnesota-esque passive-aggressive voice, I uttered a clueless, whatever. Are casinos thinking?
Yeah, I mean, here's an example where a pit boss, all he had to say was, oh, you did? Oh, well, there's a mistake in the machine.
Right.
Just kind of blow it off.
Press the point.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why it's entered here. But instead,
I don't even understand why they say anything.
I know. Well, let's talk about coloring up for a second, too. So for those who are unfamiliar with the term color up, that just means that you've got a bunch of low denomination chips. You're about to leave the table, and you give your chips to the dealer so they can give you higher denomination chips. So you'll have fewer chips. It's easier to get around.
It's good for the casino because they keep the chips on the table.
Yeah, it's right. And that's a very important, let's say a blackjack game, not so much at craps where the bank is so big.
Right.
But at blackjacks, if they're starting to run out of reds,
right.
And somebody's about to walk away with reds, and that's what this pit boss was getting at,
right.
Then maybe they need to wait for a fill or, we got to get our chips from somewhere else. So it helps player and casino.
It helps player and casino, so it's a good thing to do. But sometimes, I understand when people walk away. Because sometimes, you just had a terrible beat.
Sometimes in anger, it's like, no, I'm not going to color up. I'm leaving. Yeah,
you're ready to
I understand
go.
that, sure.
You're ready to go. But anyway, the pit boss should have just said, oh, okay,
sorry, but I don't know. They entered it wrong here.
Right.
That's all you have to say.
Which can easily happen.
Yeah. Even if you, as the pit boss, you don't believe Todd.
Yeah, right.
So what? What point are you trying to make by saying, well, computer said you walked away with red?
Yeah, it's just stupid, right? Because you make the player mad.
Yeah, right. Nobody wins. It's lose-lose.
Yeah, it's lose-lose. It's crazy.
All right, next up is Craig.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Craig just calling with a wrap-up from our Reno trip. Played most of our craps at the Grand Sierra and the Silver Legacy and El Dorado. Grand Sierra, they do have the all tall small. There are no fire bets. The dealers there are not as friendly as some of the other places, but we did run into a shooter that was a first-time roller and went on rolling for about 40 minutes, so did pretty well there. Silver Legacy definitely has the best dealers in Reno. Very good, very fast, and very friendly. overall, the trip was good. My wife and I ended up for $100 buy-in for each, and after 3 days, we walked away with $800 each. So Reno's definitely fun. $5 and $10 tables are the norm. So look forward to going back. Thanks.
Another great win, right? Start with $100 each and leave with $800 each. Yeah, great.
Very nice.
Nice win. All right, last call.
Hey guys, Eamon from Los Angeles here. A couple pre-trip quick questions, hopefully. Heading to Vegas in a couple weeks, and a friend who is new to gambling is coming with us. He's never played craps, he's played a little blackjack, but barely even knows basic strategy. I've created essentially a little pay table for him about the size of an index card with all the payouts for pass line and come odds and the bets he should place on place bets 6 and 8, 5 and 9, amounts of 6, that sort of thing. Do you think the casino will have a problem if he's referencing that while at the table so he knows what he should be getting paid on his odds and that sort of thing? And on a similar note, I really do enjoy playing video poker, but I've never really taken it seriously to any extent. It's more just a means to get some free drinks. So I've never taken the time to learn optimal strategy. Do you think the casino will have a problem if I'm using an app where you can plug in your pay table and then your hand and it tells you essentially what the optimal strategy is? I use my phone quite a bit when playing video poker, but I'm not sure if they frown on that sort of thing. And the last question, the all tall small. Do you guys ever hedge your bet? Maybe you've talked about this. If a shooter's hit all but the 5, do you ever lay odds on any of the numbers? And if so, when? Thanks. Take care.
Mike, you ever hedge your all small tall?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't like to hedge it.
Yeah. It's not really worth it. It comes up so much.
Yeah. It just comes up enough that, you don't have to, when you're playing the fire bet, and let's say you've never hit a 6 or something, so it doesn't come up that often. Yeah, if you hedge against it when you get on that 6 number.
That's a much bigger payout.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to do. But all tall, small, no, don't.
Yeah.
I was laughing when he was talking about having the paper cards at the craps table.
Oh, at the craps table?
Yeah, because when we're there as Rincon, I usually have especially on a Saturday, I'll have my sheet with the pools I'm in, different pools,
right.
and
all our sports
and
bets
all of our sports bets, and I'm marking them all wins, losses, and keeping track of stuff. And people are always laughing. Oh, Mike's doing his paperwork. Mike's got homework. And last night or Monday night, you weren't there, but I had just our daily sheet. And I was filling in some wins and losses while in between rolls.
Right.
A guy walks up to the table, and I don't know what he was doing, but he pulled out, he must have had about 25 or 30 sheets of paper.
Okay.
Folded up, and he was looking at him. He wasn't playing. He was just standing there kind of watching the game and looking at his papers. And somebody said something, oh, he's got more homework than Mike. He's got more homework than Mike.
And what did he do?
The guy had no clue what they were talking about. I don't know what he was doing. It was like he was reading something. It was something. It's so funny. I don't think they'll mind paper.
No, so Eamon, that's not a problem at all. Your friend can have the paper there. Now, as far as you using a phone at the video poker,
that's a little dicier.
That's, I would say, a no-no because under the law, and again, we're not lawyers, you're not allowed to use a device to help you play a game. And for sure, Bob Nersessian, who's a popular guest on Gambling with an Edge, he has talked about how maybe nobody's been prosecuted for using a device at video poker. Don't quote me on that. I may be quoting him wrong, but why risk it? Because all it takes is that one time to, hey, you're using a device. And if you were to follow the letter of the law, it might actually be illegal. So there's no problem. If you wanted to print out a piece of paper that showed basic strategy for jacks or better or something like that, well, that would be fine.
That would be fine, yeah. I mean, the casinos sell paper for blackjack and stuff, right? I mean, so you can, that's no problem.
Yes.
It's the device. And I don't think they're so much worried about somebody looking at basic strategy. They're worried about if there's some other way you're manipulating.
Right, they don't know what you're doing, you know.
Right.
So it would just be a blanket.
It's the same with taking photos in a casino, right? I mean, if you took a photo of me because I just hit a jackpot, that's not going to really change anything, but they're worried about somebody blackmailing somebody else.
Casinos are loosening up on that now because everybody's got a camera in their pocket. And so it's good news that casinos are finally coming into the 21st century. It's like, let them take a picture. Big deal.
Right.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, a recurring donation from Kurt. Thank you very much. Also, a donation from Brandon. He says, can you guys try to be less funny so people on my commute don't look at me weird? You know what, Brandon? I'm sorry. We cannot be less funny.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I don't think we can be less funny, Mike. Also, a donation from Michael. This has to be put on a hard 8 by Mark and let it parlay once. Oh, we were going to do it this last weekend. And I forgot. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, you got to do it this weekend.
We'll do it, Michael. Also, a donation from Bill that we heard from earlier. Unexpectedly got a week off of work, booked a ticket to Atlantic City. Karma donation for my first visit to the East Coast gambling hotspot. Thanks for all you do. I look forward to every episode. P.S. Binged the entire collection of bonus audio through Podcast Source. Enjoyed all of it. Sad to see it no longer being supported. You should record Dr. Mike's outtakes in a similar 10-minute bite-sized format and release it on the weeks where you don't have an episode. You can even call it Doctor's Orders.
Boy, I don't know. That'd be a little dicey.
I think we might lose listeners if I were to do that. Yeah. Also, a donation from Rob from Texas. Karma donation for upcoming trip to fabulous Las Vegas for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon on November 17th. They have run-through weddings during the race. Now, if they could only have a craps table rolling along so I could play while running down the strip, that would be ideal. Always look forward to hearing your show. That would be so great. Think of how thin you would be, Mike, if you could exercise while you played craps.
Yeah, I don't think I want that.
I'm going to see if they'll get a treadmill put up next to the craps table at Harris, Southern California. I'm going to ask this week.
You ask. We'll see if I can get one. We'll see if I could ask for that, if that'd be something they'd go for.
And finally, a donation from Eamon, a Karma donation for the upcoming trip. And thank you for answering my voice rambling. So
Eamon may know my brother.
Yeah,
too.
We were talking about that. Yeah, they work.
And I keep forgetting. I asked my brother, and then I keep forgetting to follow up on that. Yeah. So I'm going to see him this weekend and see if they know each other.
You know, speaking of your brother too, I was talking to him. You were too, I think. But
yes.
He was showing some pictures from Harrah's Cherokee that he absolutely loves. He showed us, the new Roll to Win craps table. He was talking about how vibrant it is and, know, the graphics and everything. But boy, he sure loves that casino, the location and everything.
He loves that casino. Well, it's a pretty part of the country too. I think him and his friend Cheryl spent the days doing stuff in the area.
Right.
And then, headed back, had dinner, and then stayed up all night gambling.
Yeah.
So that's their kind of thing. We got to go there.
There's so many places we got to go. Well, thanks everybody for those donations. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program that searches through all the raw American TV data. Just go to youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review on us. We love getting your feedback. Take us home, Dr. Mike.
Well, Mark, this is the perfect time of the year for a sports fan and a gambler. There's NCAA basketball started yesterday.
Yep.
And we love that. We got NCAA football in full gear.
Yep.
NFL is halfway through the season.
Amazing.
Like last week, right? We still got half a season to go.
Yeah.
Hockey's on. Basketball's on.
Yep.
I mean, this is a great time of year.
A lot of stuff going on. Yeah. It's and we're having fun with it.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. And until yesterday, we were doing really good for the last couple of weeks.
Ooh, yesterday was rough. It was my fault. Oh my gosh. It was easily our worst sports day ever. It just
but today's going much better.
Much better, yes.
And we had a good weekend last weekend, right?
Yes.
So,
we're hanging
it kind of all, runs its course.
Yeah, we're losers overall. But,
but we're having fun. And we're not losing a lot. That's the nice thing.
Yeah, we're losing way more money at the craps table. Although not recently. We're on a good run.
We're on a run now. Again, we've had like a couple of weeks of big runs.
Yeah.
So I hope this continues till I get to Vegas.
Yeah, really. You're going to need it.
Although I'm going with my family, so the gambling will be a little muted.
A little muted.
A little. I stress little.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
love you, Dr. Mike.